This way too early NFL Week 1 picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast, brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN, and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Mesh Shorts. Just in time for summer, we got a brand new line of mesh shorts. Use the promo code SHORTS at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com for 10% off.
This is Randy Cross. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Oh, everything feels just like a pit. Is it September yet? Are we in Vegas?
It is not September.
It feels like we are.
We are not in Las Vegas. We are in our sweet ass studio here in Los Angeles, California, broadcasting live here Sunday night, 8:30 Pacific. And yeah, we're gonna be going live a bunch now, Sunday to Thursday, 8:30 Pacific on the West Coast. Mostly live, a couple of pre-tape shows, but just to get you on a nice little schedule, get you ready for football. YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, and it's here. The week 1 NFL lines are out. Again, these are, I'm not going to call them leans because they are picks, but being this far out.
Well, wait. What are we talking about? Are you doing that thing?
What?
Where you tell people that what you're about to say isn't. Keep in mind, it is May. It's May 14th. You know, keep in mind. Limits are low right now. See, Sean, you got to be clever. What you do is you say, remember, limits are low.
For my fellow sharps out there, limits are low. You can only get down so much, but there were.
Which, by the way, Sean, we are a little flusher today than we were 2 days ago. Thanks
the XFL Renegades mount up, man. I cannot wait to put out my XFL tout post because, man, we just destroyed the XFL. I already have the Bitcoin coming into my account, Ryan. For that sweet 10-1 Renegades future. I mean, what a country we live in where you're allowed to bet on the XFL, and it was. I mean, I was 23-15 going into the championship game, 1-0, hitting the lock and the dog, bringing 24-15.
You covered
62% against the spread, 73% of my locks, 45% of the money line dogs. That is
most will remember how you covered me and copied my pick, preventing me from catching you in the overall standing. So. I mean, look, how much of the future are we obligated to reinvest in the National Football League today? Because, by the way, Bet Online, offshore, McGillicuddy, 3,300 is the max.
Really on single game?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know while I'm poking around there. We did this. We do this every year. We get as soon as the lines come out, we get down, we hammer them. Ryan, I'm looking at our way too early NFL picks from week 1, 2022. Let's see.
What day did we do that last year, Sean?
Sometime in May as well, I think. I don't have it. Maybe you can Google it, but I'll highlight some of the things. May 24th. So even we are ahead of schedule, 10 days ahead of schedule. I naively locked up the Packers, but I did give out the highlight of my week 1 even early, and especially week 1 when we actually got to it. I gave out the money line round robin parlay to save it all, cash for a ton. I gave out Texans money line, Bengals money line, and Bears money line. Obviously, the Bears and Bengals won in crazy fashion. The Texans were the team that seemingly had it the easiest. They ended up pushing, but still ended up cashing a lot.
Can I tell you, Sean, that the Colts Texans tie week 1?
Yeah,
one of the moments of the season for me.
Really?
The highs and lows.
It was crazy.
The low of that tie basically sealing up me realizing, well, they're not going to our $400,000 bet's dead.
Probably cooked.
And then moments later, just embracing
getting eliminated from the Survivor week 1.
Oh, that happened too. And then embracing Terrell as the Titans kick flies wide right.
We had Cleveland, Carolina. We had Carolina as their Survivor play. Of course, Cleveland, one of their rare wins, a crazy field goal to win it all. I don't even. It's even hard to regret that as a Survivor play because they should have won the game, and it would have been great to burn Carolina early in the season. YouTube chat is alive and well. Easy, of course, confirmed dog. Logo Gaming, Lube Gaming. Saying dog as well.
Dog. Lube Gaming.
Cereal, of course, always in here. DM and mother frickin' bets in the house.
Oh no, but
he doesn't like. He's an Eagles fan. He doesn't like that the Pats and Eagles are playing 425.
Sean, tell everyone what you did before the show. Notice the locker. Hey, let me go ISO on you so people can see the locker.
If you look in the background of the locker, you can see there are a couple items missing.
Oh wow!
From the because I only hang jerseys of dogs. So Embiid, small dog sound effects. Just a disgusting, embarrassing, gutless performance by the Philadelphia 76ers. I was against the process from day one. I said that's not how we do things in Philadelphia. You don't intentionally lose, all right? And this entire Embiid run, this entire process run, this was the culmination of the process. You were right. Yep. And this is what you get when you accept losing as an outcome.
Preach.
You know who doesn't accept losing as an outcome? Jalen Hurts. Did they end up losing the Super Bowl? Yeah, but it wasn't because they built a culture of losing. He came in as a second-round pick and worked his goddamn ass off every day. He pushed out the much weaker and mentally fragile Carson Wentz and is on pace to eventually one day come home with a Super Bowl. He is a dog. Embiid is not a dog. Small dog sound effect for Embiid and the Sixers. Just trash game.
And just to be clear, you had the Steelers money line against the Bengals.
Yeah. Sorry. Did I say Bengals?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies.
I got a little confused there. I was doing some cleanup math. Yeah. And last year I did hit my. You failed to mention my Falcons came home.
You hit your lock on that
way too early.
I think I'm doing the math. My 3-team tees. Titans -0.5. Oh no! Wait, that got cooked. That got cooked.
Yeah. Wait, it's just listen to the locks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the lesson. That's
usually the lesson.
You know, Sean, this was great for us to be retrospective here and kind of really just put a magnifying glass to our process.
It's about process. Some people are worried about outcomes. We are.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
You know, some people take themselves.
I went 10-6, by the way.
On the way
May
too early.
24th. Yeah.
Yeah. What was my final record? I just closed that tab, Ryan.
9 and 7. So
sounds about right. All right.
Winning weeks. All right.
Winning weeks. Before we get to start, of course, shout out to Shady Rays. Have you got your Shady Rays yet? I know what you're saying.
Can I interrupt real quick,
sure.
Sean? Because I'll have to post them to social. I haven't downloaded them off the old wife's phone yet. But the Shady Rays were making some appearances near some seals.
Oh yeah,
and some water.
I was also had my Shady Rays near some seals, Ryan. I was paddleboarding.
Wow.
And this time I was paddleboarding. It was super windy, and I started out on my knees because it was like really windy, right. Really choppy. Then
most stories where you start on your knees, it gets to a good place.
That is a disgusting act.
And I go, maybe I just stay on my. I'm not going to stand up because it's so windy and so choppy.
Yeah.
And then I remember, in the Shady Rays read, I talked a ton of shit about how I could stand up on the paddleboard, no problem. And I got to stand up. And then I go, oh, watch, you're going to stand up. You're going to fall over. I stood up, even in rocky, wavy conditions, rocking my Shady Rays. It was great. The sun was intense, but I had awesome shades. And again, I wasn't worried. These paddleboard people you rent paddleboard from, they act like you're taking like sailing across to Japan. They're like, all right, have you ever used a board before? She was like quizzing me on the oar, and I kept getting like, what? She goes, oh, which way do you hold it? Who gives a fuck? You just paddle the thing and you figure it out. Very easy. Almost as easy as these sweet ass Shady Rays, shadyrays.com, promo code SGPN, 50% off. Australia, England, United Kingdom, Ireland, maybe New Zealand. They're shipping to a bunch of other countries. Plenty of ways to get your shady raise. And then sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady. Enter the contest to win $500. Are you kidding me? And also, not only was I rocking the Shady Rays, Ryan, but got the new pair of the SGP mesh shorts. Those things are fire. Love paddleboarding in them. You don't need a bathing suit. Just freeballing some mesh shorts and use the promo code shorts. Store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. 10% off the awesome mesh shorts.
Maybe that's why the paddleboard bro was harassing you. Jealous of the shorts.
It was a very intense German woman.
Oh, even better.
She's like, "Sei paddle, sei."
I'll go with they.
Sei paddle is noshing.
Yeah, no joke. We were paddling around the marina today in a kayak, and I asked the little one. I said, "What do you think? You think Sean could paddleboard in this?" It was kind of choppy, and she goes, "No way."
You guys, your entire family is doubting my core strength. I
don't even know why it came up. Probably because I was thinking about the Shady Rays.
Yeah,
I was looking at the beautiful seals. Definitely saw some. It felt a little bit mob like. There was kind of this family off to the side, a mom, a dad, and some pups, and then there was clearly some sort of security detail, and then there was all the fucking riffraff that resembled like an old school ghetto or something. All right, Sean. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Thursday night. I'm still trying to work this one out in my head. Detroit, the Lions. Usually the charity primetime game is Thanksgiving morning, which I often celebrate off in the wilderness. Sean,
by not watching it. Yeah.
Now they're playing on the first. This is the first football game we have to be introduced to. All right, Commissioner. Whatever you think is good, I'll go with. But
Goddamn, baby.
This feels like a stretch. Chiefs -7, -280 on the money line, +240 for the Lions. 53.5.
Talk yourself into the Lions, internet.
Sean,
do it.
I will tell you.
Do it. I dare you.
There are a lot of 6.5s out there with like lopsided, like maybe like even money on the -6.5, +6.5, -120. It's May 14th. And they're already playing with the juice. And what does this tell you? What are they begging you to do? Bet the Chiefs.
Bet the Chiefs. Andy Reid.
It's early.
Andy Reid opening day. Confirmed. Andy Reid extra time to prepare is always a great opportunity. Do you guys remember? The chat is easy, of course, is a Lions fan, so I'll give him a pass there. But do you not remember how bad that Lions defense was? And then they burn a first round pick on Jahmyr Gibbs.
And a linebacker. They got better on defense.
Yeah. Off ball linebacker is really going to help you against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, this is the same Lions team that led up 37 points to the Carolina Panthers on the road. They led up, let's see. I mean, they had the defense really had some issues. They led up 28 to the Bills. I guess that's not bad, but man, I can't trust this defense to go on the road. Remember when the Lions lost 29-0 to the Patriots and everyone's still super high on them? I don't get it.
I mean, in general, the Super Bowl winning team has been successful. I know the Rams got their ass beat.
Easy pointing out the Eagle. They did get 4 guys in the offseason, the defense, including CJ GJ, who I don't mind that. I think he's a good pickup for that defense. You're right. So toss him in there. I just think Andy Reid with extra time to prepare against Dan Campbell. To me, that's a pretty.
It's like you're dusting off an old book to read.
Yeah, I mean, you thought they were showing off in the Super Bowl with the Kadarius Toney plays and some of that stuff.
Can I be honest? Do you remember when they played the Patriots a couple years back and the Patriots won on the money line, and it was like a 10-point spread? You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just resembles that kind of. Here's what I would say. This is the ultimate Sharps. Start of the season, everyone's darling team. Come out, shock the world.
D. Bettis is pointing out KC doesn't cover big spreads. I think this is, I think this is an exception because it's a get up spot for Kansas City. I think in other situations, if they're big favorites, I'm probably looking to fade them, but not opening night. Not the place is going nuts. Arrowhead, Lions, outdoors on the road. Fanger Banger said, Jameson Williams is going to hit that Lions money line. Yeah, he won't be playing.
Well, yeah. What's the word on that? Can he get down since he's not technically a member of the team? Look, the tease. This is definitely a leg of the tease right there.
Yeah,
and the Sharps will be all over the Detroit Lions. I think that's probably why it's. Although I don't know, it's this place. Some of the places at 6.5 are the chalkier shop, so maybe the chalk is on the Lions in this.
Oh, I think everyone's going to be on the Lions
Sunday. Yeah, I do like the idea of me having to endure more Kadarius Toney shenanigans. Carolina, the Panthers, they're heading to Atlanta. Oh, a little NFC South rivalry. I love. This is one of my favorite matchups, Sean. Bryce Young's first start. He's very tiny. Atlanta.
He looks so tiny. I mean, that was. I know he'll look slightly bigger with the shoulder pads on, but we got to get like a sandbag for Bryce Young. That guy's gonna blow away, man.
I don't think I've ever gone hard. I've gone hard into the eye, like the pupils being too far apart before. I've gone hard into you're not able to get on the whiteboard. I watched him. He looks good, but boy, he really does look tiny. And also looks great in the underwear practices. Bijan Robinson looks like he could be a receiver. Looks like we could be seeing a situation where Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson, and Bijan Robinson all play at the same time. I just like this handicap. Atlanta -3, -145 on the money line. Panthers +125. 43.5 is the total. This is like, okay, one program is a year ahead of the other. That's all this handicap is. And you're saying they're the same team. Disagree. Easy play for me. I'm on my Falcons. Easy play. Easy play. Bryce Young's first game. Frank Reich's first game. Panthers first game. Huge game for Atlanta to start the season. And honestly, like one team should be a little bit ahead of the other. All this hype about Ming. I mean, if you're an NFC South coach right now, I'm eating up all this hype from Bryce Young, and I'm like, this motherfucker. I can't see him behind the center. Center's not even that tall. Can't see him. He's gonna get so many passes knocked down in the NFL, Sean. You know what Drew Brees would look like on a bad team? Bad. Bad. How often did he carry that?
I just don't think Atlanta's a good team.
Oh,
I haven't seen anything out of this Atlanta team to make me think they're a good team.
By the way, it feels good to be talking about the NFL.
The National Football League.
How many do we have a countdown? A ticker?
I'm gonna go contrarian here. Take the Panthers +3, just as a fade of Kramer. I could see myself.
Why are you choosing the Falcons as the team to fade for me this year?
Because they're not good, right? They're not good.
I think this is one that you're off on. I'm obviously laying the 3 with my Falcons. This one I think maybe ticks higher.
Lock it up, right? Lock it up.
I did lock it up last year. I mean, I know you're making.
Oh, they did, and they covered.
And I won. So. I
also had the Falcons +4. That was last year's team.
Texans, yeah. So
it's a different number, different team matchups.
I see what you're doing there. Which, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of 8 early games on Sunday. Boy, I cannot wait to be in Vegas watching all of these. Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens -9.5, -390 on the money line, +320 for the Texans. 45.5 is the total. This is a more appropriate line for a rookie quarterback making his first start. I keep every time we do a futures episode, I keep saying, "Hey, dude, are we supposed to be betting the Ravens? Maybe, like, maybe are we supposed to be interested in the Ravens this year? Could the Ravens be really fucking good this year? Could Lamar, now that Lamar the agent and Lamar the player have clarity about Lamar the player's future?"
Baltimore's a really interesting team, right? Because I think pretty high variance chance as well. I mean, like, so they, considering of all the games they missed with the Lamar, like, still ended up with a decent record overall.
I mean, they were a ridiculous fumble return for a touchdown away from, like, not knocking the Bengals. I mean,
yeah, but then also you can look at it. You can look at it a couple ways. Like, in those I mean, they lost a 3-point game to the Steelers. That could go either way, but they won a 2-point game against the Steelers. They won a 1-point game against the Broncos. They beat the Panthers 13-3 at home. That was an incredibly ugly game.
Are they in the toughest division in football?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, NFC East actually is probably up there. AFC West, but yeah, AFC North is a pretty.
They both have teams with maroon and orange that might suck or might be competitive.
I don't know. I'm gonna steal. Ravens are definitely an interesting team. 9.5 points as a road favorite, though.
New offense. Todd Monken coming in from Georgia.
Yeah,
a lot of there's some change here.
I guess what's scary to me is this game to me.
But it's a first start.
Everyone picks Ravens for their survivor. Right. That's the only thing that scared me.
That's the system play. You fade the Texans. Here's the other problem with the Texans. D'Amico Ryans might be the accidental I'm gonna get these motherfuckers fired up.
Yeah,
and they're gonna come out hot here.
No, and yeah, but it's in Baltimore. Sorry, I thought they were a 9.5 point road favorite at home. I think I'll take the Ravens here. You're taking Houston.
I'll take the points. I think in the same way that
I'm fading Harbaugh getting ready against a rookie quarterback making his first road start. I think this is actually a great spot for Baltimore. The more I think about it, Lamar, he's jacked up.
What were last year? Okay,
I still think the Houston Texans
5-point road favorites. Oh fuck,
has some
give me Baltimore.
Has some work to
Fade
do.
the rookies. Fade the rookies.
Fade the rookies is probably the way to go, with the exception of unless you're
Munaf has to. I'll have to have a conversation with Munaf. Maybe I'll switch sides. All right,
Jake coming in with the countdown. 115 days until the opening day.
It's a lot.
Not really. Time flies, man.
We should have some sort of
time flies when you're max entering best ball.
Let's have a sale on the 100th day. Sean, there, write that down. Jake's listening. Cincinnati -2.5 at Cleveland, -130 on the money line. Cleveland +110. 47 is the total. You take the 2.5. You don't lay it. I haven't brought up betting splits yet because they seem ridiculous at this hour. But so far, basically every game we've talked about has been a massive discrepancy with. I'm sorry, the Chiefs. Detroit has not, but the other two, Atlanta and Baltimore, both catching the majority of the action, along with, not surprisingly, Cincinnati. Here, they're begging you to take Cleveland. I'll bite.
Really?
I think there's a chance.
Bengals always do start slow,
and I
just hate Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I love what he's done off the field. No, I'm kidding. I just hate him as a player. Like, he looks so bad.
Matt, all right, let's close your eyes and picture this.
Yeah.
This turns into a gross AFC North game where defense matters and Cleveland has the better defense. Yeah. And they're able to run the ball better. Who, by the way, Nick Chubb is going way too late in these fucking best ball drafts. I'm gonna end up with some,
especially with an underdog where it's half-point PPR.
Who else is on the fucking team to run the ball?
Yeah,
there's no Kareem Hunt anymore. So I'll not because Deshaun Watson looks good, but because since he always gets started slow, and this is just the ultimate. This is also one that you maybe think about putting in the teaser. But yeah, I think Cleveland can run the ball and play defense and potentially win this game. They have those DBs. You know that.
Browns seem to play well against the Bengals at home. Bengals obviously lost their first home game against the Steelers, of course, legendary in my money line round robin parlay. You remember on Halloween, Bengals got their ass kicked 32-13 against the Browns. There is something about being at home against the Bengals for the Browns. I don't think Joe Burrow has won in Cleveland yet in his time. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's go Cleveland here. Home division dog week 1 is the way to do it.
Almost a flowchart play. Jacksonville, and speaking of the flowchart, Jacksonville heads to Indy where the Jags are laying 3. It's a new AFC South, Sean. The Jags are laying 3.5 -175. On the money line. Colts +150. 43.5 is the total. I said you take the 2.5 when there's 2.5, and you lay the 3.5 when there's 3.5.
Get the flow chart out for the AFC South, Ryan.
What are you supposed to do? Don't the Jags own the Colts?
In Indy, do they?
Hold on, I wrote.
I know Indy always beats them at least once, and usually in Jacksonville, right? Isn't that how it goes? Yeah, or no, Jacksonville. I'm used to thinking of Jacksonville as always the dog.
Yeah,
Jacksonville upsets Indy at home, but Indy owns Jacksonville in Indy.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure.
But it's Anthony Richardson. Aren't we in the same problem?
Shane Steichen getting up for this game. I get they want you to take the 3.5. I'm biting. Anthony Richardson, you don't know how to play this kid. We see this all the time. Trevor Pretty Boy Lawrence on the road. All these gadget guys. What could go wrong?
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? I had the numbers. I clicked off. Let me pull. But basically, you're right. Although Indy, while they are good straight up, it's not against the spread. So. For what it's worth, they're dogs here. So untangle
I could review that. I have to see what they're doing at quarterback. I mean, they may start Minshew. I wouldn't be shocked if Minshew starts.
Hot take. I mean, Jags also very public or very lopsided.
Oh yeah.
No surprise.
Who's taking the Colts plus 3.5 as a home dog right now, Ryan? Name me another show giving you the Colts week 1 plus 3.5.
I really don't want to
Sunday.
I don't want to take them.
That's why you got to take it.
I don't want to take them.
Take the Jags, 3.5 point road division favorites.
I'll take them for
what
now.
could
for
go
now.
wrong?
It's early. It's May 14th. Let's remind everyone those limits are small. So shit, I took the Jags last year, 2-week one. You know what? Adjust it. Flow chart. God, though, I don't know. Anthony, I should be fading
Jags
the rookie.
are bad week 1.
I should be fading the rookie, but maybe they just run the ball.
Yeah.
Is that your angle?
The Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor, the read option that they're going to be running, I think has a chance to be dynamic for fantasy purposes, and I think could be tough. It could be a tough thing to prepare for week 1. Now, like week 2 or 3 or 4, when there's a little tape on Anthony Richardson, I think he could really struggle.
Doug Peterson looking confused as fuck on the
Anthony Richardson strikes me as a guy who might surprise people with a couple wins early and then fall apart.
That's probably fair. Before you figure out what he's doing, like a magician.
Jake nailed it in the chat. Colts open week 1 with another tie. I'm going to bet this game has tie written all over it, Ryan. You know it.
0 points at halftime against the Texans last year. Tampa Bay, the Bucks, they're heading to the spaceship up in Minneapolis against the Vikings. Vikings laying 7 here, minus 280 on the money line, plus 235 for the Bucks. Will it be Baker? Will it be Kyle? 46.5 is the total. Sean,
or someone else.
You broke some news to me. You said Dalvin Cook has been cut. I've then not seen any sort of official wording.
I did not allow you to release that news yet.
Yeah, no. We were at, but people like the behind the curtain stuff, you know.
No, he's been informed. Okay, so here's the whole breakdown. One to do right by Dalvin Cook.
It's a dirty business.
Even willing to hold on to his cap hit of around 14 million while the team decides his future. It does not sound like he's going to be back in any way, shape, or form.
It's not you. It's me.
Listen, we'll take your cap space. Just don't
remember how bad.
Don't key my truck on the way out, Dalvin. Thank you.
Do you remember how bad Jeff Fisher was at cutting people?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Sammy.
Oh, the greatest was like in the Super Bowl hype video. Poor Jeff Fisher, just like, hey, best of luck, Nick. Blah blah blah. You know, hey, hope you land on your feet.
All right, so Vikings are laying 7 here. I think with or without Dalvin Cook, Madison's still in the picture. He always
he's a good best ball pickup.
He never really had. Yeah, you're loving shares you got of him before. Or I guess the news isn't official, but it's probably going to start affecting his draft stock. But yeah, I mean he doesn't really change the team much for me. This is a team that has dynamic pass catchers all over the place with Hawkinson, with Jefferson, with Addison. I mean, people want to get excited about KJ Osborne every year. It's like now they have dudes. So look, Kirk Cousins can do this one thing, right? He can fuck up a bad team at fucking noon local time. Or
Can he though?
Really?
I mean, I think they can put up points, but how do you feel about the Vikings defense? How do you feel about Tampa Bay's defense?
34-14. That's what I feel. We see this every fucking year. The Vikings always catch some teams coming up there and they whoop the shit out of them on the turf because the offense looks fucking good. And the Bucks, I think the Bucks are probably Bucks have my simulations that are still running, by the way.
Okay. Does Dalvin Cook end up in Tampa Bay? And this is an ultimate Dalvin Cook revenge.
By the way,
game,
running back coach for Tampa Bay, who has coached Zeke in Dallas in the past, says that the gap between Zeke signing with the team is that he thinks his role should be prominent, basically, and teams are
classic loser denial. That's that great line from Billy Madison, where like, oh no, when they're explaining to Billy Madison, he's like, oh no, you guys are wrong. I'm cool. They're like, oh no, dude, you're a loser. And then the guy, oh yeah, I had a bad case. You have loser denial. Yeah, I had a bad case of loser denial till the lacrosse team put a parking cone up my ass. Complete denial.
Yeah, I mean, again, Minnesota here, obvious teaser play. I think whoever they're rolling out for I think there's a chance anyway, what I was going to say is my simulations are spitting out a lot of versions where the Bucks are the worst team in the NFL.
Okay.
Like I know, yeah, maybe they get a surprise visit from Mr. Brady. Unlikely, but Baker's washed. Like you have to realize he was playing with McVay.
I guess I kind of like Tampa Bay's defense. You're probably right. I don't love Minnesota's defense. I mean, we saw the way they were just such a paper tiger. They're 13-4 record, losing to a not amazing Giants team at home in the playoffs. There just feels like bad mojo for this Vikings team. Regression is coming for this Vikings team. There's a lot of things stacking up against the Vikings for the season. Maybe I'm weighing that too much in the week 1 handicap.
Todd Bowles also isn't a good coach.
Yeah. All right. I'll go Vikings -7.
And what did Tom Brady really struggle with early in the year? The offensive line couldn't protect him.
Yeah.
And what happens if we don't know, I guess Kyle Trask or Baker could have a complete complete change of what we've seen in the past. But it just seems unlikely someone's going to show up there, a place where Tom Brady was the offensive coordinator, and then the offense is still going to be good. I know they have good players. I just don't know if they're going to be good. That's the sad part. They have a lot of guys you draft in fantasy. They might suck though. Tennessee heads to New Orleans. Saints -3.5, -175 on the money line. Titans +150. 42 is the total. I did say you're supposed to lay the 3.5. Oh, no. You know it's happening already, Sean. The Will Levis videos, him flicking his wrist, that ball just shooting across the field. Does he start week 1 for the Titans?
No way.
No
way.
He might be considerably better than Ryan Tannehill.
Again, this is why it's an interesting exercise to do this far out. There certainly could be some maneuvering. There could be, I mean, someone blows out their ACL in training camp, a la the Sam Bradford thing. A team that feels like it's close, they trade for Ryan Tannehill. I don't know if they would do that, but
that's an excellent.
They're clearly not like that attached to Ryan Tannehill. Maybe San Francisco has a come to Jesus moment. They realize like, oh wait, we actually don't have a quarterback. We should trade for Ryan Tannehill.
Well, Sam Darnold's here.
Yeah, well, they already have 3 franchise quarterbacks in San Francisco.
I mean, what are they? It's like they're talking about like modern day like teenagers. And they don't want to offend anyone.
D Bettis is saying this is a trash ass game.
Dude, it's a football game.
Yeah, it's an NFL game, week 1.
Save those comments for the USFL.
I think this is a great time for this Tennessee Titans team to steal one against a Saints team that bringing in Derek Carr. Are you really going to pop because of Derek Carr?
You're very confident that Will Levis isn't starting week 1.
Yeah, I mean they drafted him in the second. Not very confident. I would say if I had to grade it right now, I'd put it like 90% chance Tannehill. They're certainly they're not super tied to Tannehill. I think this year They've resigned themselves to, hey, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start Tannehill for a year. We have Mike Vrabel. We're still gonna fight and be super competitive. Try and win. We're going to use that year to develop Will Levis and then get rid of Tannehill after that year. You also have Derrick Henry, week 1, completely fresh legs. You have my boy Chigoziem Okonkwo, who is a nightmare for defenses. Maybe Treylon Burks pops a little bit. And this Titans team, man, like Vrabel really gets the best out of this Titans team. The issue is, the Titans, they were the classic a tale of two halves of the season. I mean, do we recall that the Titans started what they were 7-3 and then they lost 7 games in a row. So
and they lost their opening game.
They lost their first 2. So basically they lost 2. Went
7 of 8,
went 7-1, and then lost 7 in a row. So this Titans team really kind of all over the place. I think they're going to be able to hang with.
Don't have a great take here.
Well, I guess to me,
I'm worried it could be Will Levis.
I'm super suspect about Dennis Allen as a head coach. That's, to me,
this is a fair point.
Gun to my head, I'm taking Mike Vrabel and 3.5 points versus Dennis Allen and Derek Carr.
You keep saying that.
Yeah,
John Morant's not here. See what I did there? I made a. The topical reference.
Do we need to release a no flashing of guns on the Instagram live policy?
Have we had? Has anyone? Has Munaf been flashing his revolver? I bet you Munaf has a revolver.
Maybe Terrell used a prop once.
Terrell's probably got a fucking sick ass gun.
Oh, Brandon checking in. Shout out to Blob and the Stars. Yeah, Ryan. Can't wait for the USFL podcast. Of course, the Maulers won on the money line. Stars
talk
coming
to me
up
when
big.
The playoffs start, and I have some futures. I do have to navigate.
Oh, my Maulers 22-1 is just skyrocketing in value.
We're getting rich on spring football. All right. So I guess I said all of that to get to the point where I think I'm going to take the Saints for now.
Okay.
And I will say this, Sean, I am starting to get a little concerned that it does seem like this. I think the Saints like projected to be dogs only like 3 times in the first 10 games.
It's just tremendous hype for the Saints team.
I like everything you're saying. This one to me strikes me as just that gross side where New Orleans at home just gets it done. All right.
Drastic changes in the YouTube chat saying, does Mike Vrabel get fired if they underperform? I think
it does seem like the GM's trying to rebuild and Vrabel's not in on this situation.
Yeah, I think there's certainly a world where, and again, that's kind of why I like the Titans to surprise some people. I like a Titans team with their back against the wall, with not only him but Tannehill, both kind of fighting for their careers. I think is certainly an interesting path for this Titans team, because I do think if they go 6-11, what's keeping them on the job? Like maybe if they see something at 11 slate, I just think Vrabel's a good coach, man. I think he got out of sync with the general manager. I think that AJ Brown trade was a horrific idea. And then I think, a couple injuries, couple things broke wrong for them last year and it kind of unraveled. So I think this could be they're just an interesting underdog, both in the season and I think week 1.
Yeah, this is kind of just all around an interesting game that I'm not that interested in. Niners laying 3 points here on the road in Pittsburgh. Are you kidding me? Who's starting? -145 on the money line. Steelers +125. 42 is the total. Snap, fucking all in.
I mean, unless TJ Watt has an injury between now and then, I love it.
Could this number move?
Yeah, I think people are really in on San Francisco. Maybe it goes down
when they realize it's not Brock Purdy. It's not like they can't be laying points with Sam Darnold on the road.
Sam Darnold as a road favorite. What world are we living in?
All right, let's bet this right now.
I mean,
let's pause the show. Everyone, take a. If you're driving, pull over. Obviously,
this is a Raz release special, Ryan.
We are go. All right, like I said. Oh damn, I could 3,300. That feels aggressive. But we'll get it. We'll get in on maybe a half bet here.
I think he was. Look at Kenny Pickett at home last season. Against the Browns, won 28-14. Against the Raiders, won 13-10.
All right, I did it. I'm in.
Lost against the Ravens. Lost against 14-16. All right. Lost against the Bengals. That was a crazy game. 37-30. Beat the Saints 20-10. Beat Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And the Bucks 20-18. I think, and again, I think Kenny Pickett finished pretty strong. I really like what they did in the draft. I love
is TJ. Well, did you hear the rumors?
What?
JJ Watt coming out of retirement.
Really? What would he do?
Where would he play? Two teams on the list, Sean. Can you guess?
I mean,
well, actually, awesome. What's fun is, can you guess the other team? Obviously, one of them is the Steelers to play with his brother. Who's the other team?
It's someone who probably is in the mix for a.
Think about who JJ Watt is as a man.
Okay.
It's from Wisconsin.
Oh, Packers.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say this.
If I was him, I would go Steelers.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, toss him in there. I mean, I don't know what he's got left, but certainly would be good in the locker room.
He's not nothing. He was doing stuff last year.
He was. He really was.
He's putting up numbers. Like the advanced analytics were bonk. I feel like at one point we were talking about him as like.
I think he's certainly like a guy, Chris Long. Have some high sack seasons late in his career as part of a rotation with other strong guys around him. So yeah, I don't know what.
Plus playing with your brother. I mean,
yeah, it's got to be fun. Just dominate.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything to add here? I feel like we didn't really say, but other than the fact that you can't, will Brock Purdy be the starter here? No. Right? By a mile? No.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't. Then what is this? What are we doing here? Haven't we? They haven't watched this more than any other number we've discussed. This number will move. Will Pittsburgh be favored?
I don't know. I mean, the 49ers claim he's going to be ready for training camp. So I don't know.
Man, I'm going to be so wrong about this if I'm wrong. But no way. No fucking way. All right. So we're both on the Steelers.
But then also, if he's going to be ready for training camp, why would Kyle Shanahan go out of his way to say, "I'm glad we're not playing Philly week 1. I want them at a better time.
Oh, wait a second.
I want to make sure our whole team is right there. We feel like we didn't get to do it last time. I'm ready to go back again."
Do you have that written down?
Of course, his wife's not coming.
That's written down.
Somewhere. Oh, it's bulletin board material. The 49ers. I mean, week 13 is circled. Can't wait.
That's a great point, which means that they're definitely not going to be ready for this fucking week 1 road trip to Pittsburgh.
No, they're looking ahead to week 13.
Face a bunch of yins.
I mean, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I go, they're not even talking about you guys in this locker room. They're already looking ahead to week 13.
I would bring that up.
Hey, TJ,
that's a great point.
TJ, they're not worried about you. They don't even have their whole team. They don't care.
Completely agree. All right. And by the way, yeah, I mean, JJ Watt was popping off for stretches of the season when he was healthy. He was popping off in the top.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot he did have some moments there.
Which another reason why the Cardinals might completely suck. Speaking of which, the Cardinals catching 6.5 points here, plus 185 on the money line. Redskins, aka Commanders, aka the football team.
What will they be called when the season starts?
Minus 215 on the money line. Which by the way, it sounds like the ownership group wants to, but are worried they've changed the name too many times. 40.5 is the total. That's a hilarious thing because that's going to require a committee, and that's going to require surveys from the fans, and it's going to take a while. And then next thing you know, we've been the Commanders for long enough to have an identity. And then Colby doesn't want to change because if they change, the Commanders is building a fan base, and this is up there with Tennessee, New Orleans in terms of games that something's gonna have to drastically change in my fantasy outlook or my betting outlook for me to be really interested in this game. This is a Colt McCoy game. So I think I like Colt McCoy catching all these points.
McCoy revenge game,
but it's also a Gannon game.
Yeah,
and you're like really hard against him, so I have to keep that in mind when we're talking about Arizona. You're just gonna. I think you might end up picking against Arizona every game this year.
This is a Colt McCoy revenge game. I'm actually taking Arizona plus 6.5 because Sam Howell is essentially a rookie quarterback. He started one game to be a 6.5 point favorite.
New offense too.
Yeah, and again, we see this all the time in week one. We see like a bad team win a game they have no business winning. I haven't seen, the Commanders. They still
it's
have
actually a great analogy.
They still have Ron Rivera. They still have.
This is Cleveland, Carolina, week 1 last year.
Okay.
I mean the point spreads don't exactly match up, but I think the road team coming in and surprising people makes sense to me. You know what they'll say afterwards? Well, Gannon has such a familiarity with the division.
Oh, they're 100% going to say that, and I think there might be something to that. Like the Eagles,
the new ownership group's going to be at the game. This would be the most Redskins thing to do.
Oh, to completely tank this up. 100.
The curse of Dan Snyder begins.
100%.
Oh, Sean, let's get the curse of Dan Snyder started. As if it's a bad thing he's leaving, and so now the team is cursed.
No, I
cursed for what he did.
Ryan, this reminds me of Giants Titans week 1.
I like this call. Like
two teams with not a lot of history together. Titans were, I think they were 6.5 point favorites at
4.5.
4.5.
I think it did grow though.
Yeah, so that's what this game reminds me of. Like
Sean,
the wonky random game that no one's going to be interested in, and the cards shock the world.
Like an NFL pick sommelier. Yeah, I'm with you. I think.
I just don't think you can make Sam Howell a 6.5 point favorite against Colt McCoy. He's going to come in there with a chip on his shoulder, and they have DeAndre Hopkins. They still have some talent on that team.
Their odds are crazy low to do anything.
Yeah,
they have the Texans first round pick. Could this be one of those NFL tank jobs where they actually screw it up? Can they screw it up having Houston's pick?
Drastic changes pointing out media has already hinted that the Falcons tried to trade for Kyler Murray. Arizona was willing to play ball. Arizona could move on from Kyler for Caleb. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
But NFL teams don't tank, and the Texans tied to start the season. So to that point, a tie here would be interesting. Probably disappointing if we play the money line, but I think that I just think Colt McCoy revenge game. We'll end on that note.
Yeah.
Packers.
Hey, before we get to the Packers, Ryan, shout out to Talkify. Oh man, you know what? You know what's fun?
Yeah, he's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Step 1, going out on some awesome dates. And again, if you're starting out, single guy, single gal, you gotta get the ball rolling. It's tough. I know online dating is it can be a real huge pain in the ass. Maybe you're skeptical. You had some bad experiences. Don't worry. Talkify has you covered. The matchmakers meet with you, learn about what you're actually looking for, and then find a person custom built to you, like just a perfect match. And again, video interviews, they ask the tough questions, background checks, they do all this screening, and they present, hey, this is a match. Do you want to go on the first date? If you do, you get it set up. You got a matchmaker help you out on the date, getting it going. Again, turnkey dating. Love this idea. Talkify is committed to finding your match. 80% of their clients met their person within their first 12 matches. That is a lead pipe lock if I ever heard one. Again, dating is hard. Talkify makes it easier. Easy, laying out a great game plan. Step 1, Talkify. Step 2, get some ass. Step 3, cash in with SGPN. What's better than ass and cash? I don't know. And speaking of cash, you a little less cash when it comes to sign up with Talkify if you use our sign up link. All you got to do is go to talkify.com/SGPN. That's TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/SGPN.
It was really smart of him to say ass. It works for anyone. Everyone's got an ass.
Making Bacon coming in from New Zealand. Hey,
hell yeah.
Making Bacon, get those Shady Rays down in New Zealand. Do you also say down under for New Zealand? I would assume you would, right?
Yeah, and you want to get down on your knees to see down under.
He said, "Boys, how we doing? Miss hearing your voices live, getting pumped for the season." He said he's got big money on the Browns to lose the division at plus 330. Like that.
All right. Pat, to lose the division?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That wouldn't be everyone else to win the division. No, Browns would have to be a massive favorite for plus 330.
Maybe he accidentally. Can we get a verified bet there? Making Bacon. Send over the kangaroo.
Yeah, we'll have to get some clarity on that Browns bet, but we're with you. They're not winning the division.
The Wombat, whatever they use for SMS over there. All right, let's head over to the afternoon slate, Sean. We do have 5 games in the afternoon slate, according to my accounting. Which that's not break it up. You get some. I mean, for you, probably not as good because you'll be locked in on the Philadelphia Eagles. But we start out with a classic rivalry. First question: Packers, Bears in Chicago. Bears minus 2.5, minus 130. Packers plus 110. 44 is the total. Will your brother be in Vegas week 1? Because he's had a history of mushing Packers Bears games. 2, the first time this game will be played without Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Long time. At 3, holy shit, Justin Fields is favorite.
Well, you could look at it as Jordan Love is on the road, only getting 2.5 points.
Fading rookies.
This is one of those classic games where if it was Chicago minus 3, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just like, yeah, Bears at home. Okay.
But here's my take. The Bears run defense was awful.
Yep.
I know they spent a lot of money on interior line backing. I don't know if that got them that much better.
Get TJ Edwards. I think could really be a boost to their run game.
Yeah, I think that the Packers are going to be a run first team. I keep finding myself in a position where I want to take Jordan Love to come out and win his first game.
Wow.
That's as far as I've gotten in my script, but I think he comes out. I think the storylines of the Bears losing to the Packers again, even without Aaron Rodgers, are just too strong, Sean. This is what we need to happen. And again, I'm gonna stick to my principles that sometimes people make fun of.
It is interesting to have.
Why are they hanging this number like
Justin Fields in a game where he is much more experienced than the other quarterback? And I've seen crazy athletic plays out of Justin Fields. I've seen some crazy highs for them. I think Chicago gets the win. I'm going to take Chicago here minus 2.5. I like a couple things they've done on the defense. I'm just Jordan Love on the road. I'm out.
What if Aaron Rodgers was a fucking weirdo and the team's just going to play a lot harder now because they like Jordan Love? Again, some of my simulations are stating that. Not done with the simulations, as I stated earlier. 1:25 p.m. on the West Coast. The Vegas Raiders taking on the Denver Broncos. Broncos laying 3.5 at home. Minus 170 on the money line. Plus 150 for the Raiders. 45 is the total. Jimmy G.
Raiders.
Jimmy G and the Raiders. Honestly, I don't really know what to make. I mean, we generally like the early season Denver spots. I'm seeing that available are like -3, -130s.
Okay.
The angle almost certainly is to take Denver in this spot. Another team that I fully expect to win game 1, and then from there, who knows? But this is looking like a very strong spot for Sean Payton and Russ to look like they're fixed.
Or is it everyone's gonna say, "Hey, Sean Payton's got this team fixed,"
That's possible.
and then it's a complete disaster?
Possible. Well, I think it's gonna be a disaster, but I think them winning the first game again.
It's tough though because I do like some things on the Broncos roster. I do think Sean Payton, massive coaching upgrade over Russ, over Hackett.
Well, Hackett could be the worst thing we've ever seen.
Again, went to the Jets somehow. So how do you not take a year off in between there? I guess I worry that Russell Wilson really sucks and his entire team hates him. And what has changed since then? Now his coach also hates him. Before, Nathaniel Hackett at least liked him and let him do whatever he wanted.
Maybe he's not the quarterback.
I don't think he finishes the year as a quarterback. I think Jarrett Stidham does, but I think we have to get there first, and it includes losing to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Really?
I don't know. You're right though. The Broncos are a good week 1 spot.
I love this spot.
I'll take Denver -3.5. Again, it's tough week 1 because like
you know why I love it?
My season takes bleed into my week 1.
Sean Payton is going to be able to scheme up some bullshit. They're going to make a handful of plays, and they play great defense at home. I don't think this doesn't profile as a shootout. I'm laying the 3.5 here.
I'll take Denver.
And then
talk me into it.
And then hard sell.
And then Do you remember that from Mad TV?
No, that wasn't that from. It was a Stifler movie where he's at a drive, or maybe it was an Ashton Kutcher. They're at a drive.
Dude, where's my car?
Yes. I can see it.
No, but I think it was Lady Swan.
Okay.
Maybe she made a cameo.
We'll have to dig that
Mad TV. Look it up.
125 on the West Coast.
Oh no, it is from Dude, Where's My Car? But I think it might be the character that was from Mad TV.
Okay. A little crossover.
Dude, where's my car?
Dolphins heading to Los Angeles, taking the Chargers. Chargers laying 2.5, -135 on the money line, +115 for the Dolphins. 49.5 is the total. Generally, the away fans love the week 1 spot to travel, visit. Unfortunately, Miami coming from warm weather, it does worry me. They're one of the few teams that maybe won't take over the LA stadium. What are your thoughts on this? Because typically it's an auto play Miami. It's an auto play take the 2.5, and it's an auto play fade the Chargers with their brand shiny new offense to start the season against Mike McDaniel. I mean, do you think Miami fans will travel? This is the worst team for that.
It is one of the few places where I think it'll be 50-50 of fans.
Really? So the Chargers could have
maybe probably 60-40 for Chargers. I don't think there's going to be tremendous fan interest.
Are Chargers fans excited after the end of the season last year?
No, they're crushed as you would expect.
See, Sean, you're not laser focused.
What do you mean I'm not laser focused?
I think we need to make sure you take NBA Sean and put them in the closet with those jerseys, because this is going to be a massive showing for Miami. You know what is half the distance of Hawaii to Miami? Hawaii to Los Angeles.
Oh, you
know what? There's a ton of
Tua Nation.
California. I have no idea, but Tua fans, I'm assuming they're everywhere. They love to support each other. The Islanders are strong. And it's going to be island strong in SoFi Stadium, which, by the way, outdoor stadium. Basically feel like you're on the beach.
Yeah, I like
Tua will be concussion free.
Yeah.
And a judo purple belt, maybe, if he's lucky.
I mean,
if he doesn't miss, that's the right mental note, Sean. Tua's going to miss a game this year because he's going for his purple belt in judo.
How did the Chargers season end? Because they couldn't guard the receivers of the Jaguars. They were running all over the place. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, that Achane, that running back they drafted, I think is super speedy. He's going to be an interest. They're going to have their hands full.
Well, and this is like a master and student situation.
Jalen Ramsey, of course, signed with the Dolphins as well. I think that could be a pretty interesting addition for him.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think the way that season ended has to be a little bit in Justin Herbert's set.
D Bet is pointing out in the chat, Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins.
That's a good pickup.
Note, Brandon Staley, a Vic Fangio disciple. So generally, especially with the defensive guys, I like to take the master over the student. So from another angle, like, are they going to have some troubles? Because he's going to know exactly what Brandon Staley's going to want to do on defense.
I think this is a good spot for Miami.
Imagine if Mike McDaniel knows exactly what Brandon Staley wants to do. Trouble. Like the Dolphins. Love it in the tease. I don't recommend teasing in May though. Be careful. Eagles laying 4.5 in New England, which look at Robert Kraft creating some bullshit in the summer so he can get some FaceTime on NFL Network. Well, he's looking kind of old. Maybe we can cut that. We don't need to do that all the time. B, Eagles coming to town for Tom Brady honor night, getting honored for something night. Maybe playing quarterback again. Is there a chance he plays quarterback for the Patriots? Raiders, Patriots, or Bucks? Who does he play for first?
Oh man!
And if we have a fourth spot in the poll, just add Dolphins for fun.
I think 49ers is the interesting one. But they claim Brock Purdy is alive and well. I think it probably would have to be the Bucks because I don't think they would let him out of his contract and no one's probably trading for him.
That's fair.
So, but I think it avoids him having to show up to Tom Brady night against the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that destroyed him in Super Bowl 52. Do you think they'll run some highlights of him dropping that pass? The Eagles are going to figure out a way to get Nick Foles up there. There's also talk of only having Brandon Graham do the coin toss.
Oh, that's strong.
Little
but it would talk of who? Like who's having this conversation?
Me and other Eagles guys, part of the organization.
There's no why would the team be talking about this? I did like how you snuck that in though.
There was an awkward moment on NFL Network. Adam Schefter was reporting
on NFL Network. You must mean that
ESPN. I don't know, whatever.
I was just gonna say that's Ian Rapp. You gotta know your guys.
Adam Schefter was reporting about the fact that Tom Brady was looking to buy a minority stake in the Las Vegas Raiders, and then the host is like, well, then I guess all the other owners will prove that, because then that means he can't be an owner player, and that would just the owners would support that, because then he's definitely not playing. And Adam's like, actually, that's not officially a rule. So
why did he know
we would.
Why did he look that up?
Perhaps the league could weigh in on it, but there's nothing on the books that says you can't. And the other host is like, shit, what the fuck?
Of course not. If you own the fucking team, who's going to make a rule that you can't play? You're the owners.
They don't care.
The owners make the rules.
Why would they care?
Why would they make a rule that states they can't play?
Yeah.
What are you worried about? Fucking Bo Jackson owning a team?
You think Jimmy Johnson's going to create, or Jerry Jones? You think Jerry Jones is going to create a rule not allowing him to play in the NFL?
I'm fucking worried about Jamar Chase owning the team.
Yeah, you think Daniel Snyder? Well, now that he's not. You don't think that guy wanted to suit up?
Well, now he can finally.
Maybe
play.
That's why he's selling the team.
He's finally eligible, declaring himself. All right, Eagles laying 4.5 in the Tom Brady night, -200 on the money line. Patriots +170. 46 is the total, and Bill Belichick says Mac Jones is in. Kind of.
It's a baby fucking wheel,
well,
man.
Actually, it's up to Bill O'Brien. But Mac Jones, he likes him a lot. Thinks he had a great offseason. But so did Bailey Zappi. So
Zappy hour.
In general, the quarterback room is really taking some progressions.
If you listen to the latest Die Hard Eagles, we walk through the Eagles schedule. Little revenge game here for the Eagles. Juju Smith-Schuster, arguably the guy who talked the most shit after the Chiefs win. Talking a ton of shit to the Eagles defense, the secondary, bringing up that bragging about getting a holding call, all the bullshit he did. He's suiting up for the Patriots
after the win in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they won. Okay, yeah. I'm not in denial. I'm not gonna whine about it. I'm not the fucking 49ers over here. We played hard and we lost the game. I think the Eagles.
At least you played 11 on 11. That was cool.
Yeah. Oh, you 49ers 11 on 10. So again, sorry, apologies. 49ers only had 10 players. They did actually have 10 players a couple times. That was just because of poor coaching.
Well, and they played with 10 players the entire game against the Bears. that was a Trey Lance.
That was a Trey Lance joke. I like it.
All right, so yeah, I mean, Eagles laying 4.5 here.
I'll take the Eagles. This is although I could feel this being like in the same way they opened the season last year against the Lions, where they're in control of the game, but then the Lions ended up backdooring it. I could see them being up by 14 or 10 late, and New England doing something to kind of close the gap and cover the spread. But I mean, just matchup wise, it's tough to really really find a good out for the Patriots here.
Super Bowl losers haven't done super well.
No.
One ATS only 2 wins in the last 10.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, this could be a sneaky. This could be a sneaky tough spot for the Eagles. Maybe the Patriots get up for this game, but if you just look at the matchups, like the offensive and defensive line dominance, again, that's what I'm holding on to as far as why the Eagles aren't going to fall apart.
Fun fact: the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, the loser went on to cover Week 1, and it was the Patriots.
Okay.
Ooh, connected so many dots there all at once.
So take your Patriots, Ryan.
No, I mean, I think what I was saying is that trends are stupid.
Okay.
I think in this one, this is very obviously you're going to want to look to New England here in a like it's not prime time. I get it. The sun will still be up. It's early in the fall. People haven't tended to their crops yet. That being said, we're just supposed to fade the Super Bowl losers every year. So that's what we're going to do. You can be a homer here. You can tell me about how you're just going to this team, super team assemble. Will Jalen Carter be in prison by this point?
No.
Okay.
No.
Rams heading to Seattle. Last of the late afternoon slate. This is a fun rivalry. I kind of like that they have it Week 1. Unknown of the Rams and everyone's commitment to ball. Rams plus 5.5, plus 200 on the money line. Seahawks minus 240. 46.5 is the total. Oh man. All right. So I'm gonna take the glasses off for this one. On one hand, this is a very large number. Very large number. On the other hand,
listening.
Well, so much can go wrong for the Rams between now and the start of the season.
Oh, okay.
So much.
Really?
Coach could step into media because Tom Brady isn't going, so there's this vacancy over at Fox. Maybe Aaron Donald is dealing with some back problems in training camp. Decides to hang it up. Maybe Matt Stafford's elbow issue returns. I mean, look, if he starts just randomly taking practices off, not throwing, this is a team that has Cooper Kupp, has Aaron Donald, has Matt Stafford, has some other pieces, but they have been so depleted with draft picks. They just
very thin.
They're beyond thin.
Okay.
They don't even have Jalen Ramsey anymore. You know, we're still getting excited about Van Jefferson, that tiny receiver.
Sporadic, right? Well, we have an update on Matthew Stafford and his
Cam Akers. They were trying to kick him off the team, but then they realized, shit, we don't have that many draft picks, and he's not good.
Bad. Well, we have the latest on Matt Stafford's back issue.
I broke my back.
Oh, that was a shame, Matt.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Like Jim Gray. What the fuck are you saying?
What did he expect Tyson to say? Oh, the L4 vertebrae. Jim.
Oh man, he knew Tyson would have a very, very confident
response.
Spinal.
I can listen to that all day.
All right, so
what are you doing, Ryan? It sounds like you're making a case for your Seattle Seahawks.
I'm walking in here feeling very, very chalky, but yeah, I just think there's this number is in a spot that tells you the books don't know too.
Woo, and love this for
I agree that
the LA Rams. This is a great value. This is Geno Smith should not be favored by 5.5 points.
This is fair.
Guys, do you remember how Geno Smith finished the season?
Yeah, but he started pretty well.
Yeah, but he played like crap at the end. Like, come on. What are we doing? I was on the Seahawks over last year when everyone thought they were going to be the worst team in the league.
Tout.
Do you remember the last game of the regular season, playoffs on the line, and they barely beat Baker 19-16.
It's a pretty sad ending for some.
Do you remember how bad that game was? 19-16. Baker was 13-26 for 147 yards, 1 interception. Cam Akers, Ryan, 21 for 104. Like, you give this team Cooper Kupp back, Geno 19-31, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
I'm gonna take.
Before that, they beat the Jets 23-6. That was a very bad Jets team. After that, at Chiefs loss, 49ers at home loss. They lost to the Carolina Panthers. Comeback player of the year, Geno Smith. They lost to him 30-24. They did beat the Rams 27-23 in LA. I'll give that to them. But again, Matt Stafford is better than the dog shit they were trotting out last year. They lost to the Raiders in overtime. They lost to the Bucks in that might have been in England. They beat your Giants. They started out 6-3 and then finished 9-9 with the playoff loss in there. I'm saying I just don't think they should be favored 5.5. I get why people are higher on them going into the season. I think they had a pretty good draft. This is a 3-point game. And I would push back with Deep Hedis in the chat saying the Rams are downgraded. I think the Rams are upgraded. You went from Baker Mayfield and whoever else they were trotting out at quarterback and no Cooper Kupp to having Baker Mayfield and having Cooper Kupp. I get you lost Jalen Ramsey, but other than that, I think they'll do a little. They might trade for a couple guys here between now and then. I just think the Rams are going all in this season, and I think them winning a division game against the Seahawks week 1 is not shocking at all.
All right, so perhaps.
And the Seattle Tampa Bay game was in Germany. That's correct. Serial. I had it as England. I just looked at these start times and it was wacky. So
do you remember Bobby Wagner? He left Seattle and, and then he went down to the Rams and we were like, oh shit. And we watched that game. We're like, oh shit, we shouldn't have bet against Bobby Wagner against his old team. Well, now the Rams are his new old team. What do you think he's going to do against this team? He might be the guy to end Matt Stafford's season. I love that Bobby Wagner's back with his boys going against his new old team, the Rams. That's the narrative. That's a narrative I can lean into the entire offseason. Bobby Wagner is back with Seattle and going against his new old team. Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys.
So you're laying 5.5 with Geno.
I also
feel good about that.
I
mean, Matt Stafford. I get why.
What happens
think
if it's
would
not
hold
Stafford? It's May 14th. What happens if Matt Stafford doesn't make it to the season?
Oh, I think then you're getting 8 points.
Yeah,
love it.
And right now I'm laying 5.5. That's a lot of CLV. As you know, Sean, 7. That's a key number. All right,
Brett Rippon, Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was one of the best quarterbacks in the draft.
No, the best, according to the Rams. That's what it reminds me so much of when David Carr wrote an article where he made his brother Derek Carr a top 5 quarterback. Not number 1 though. Didn't want someone to think it was suspicious. All right.
More than a manage the game type quarterback as well.
Absolutely. Cowboys, Giants, Sunday Night Football once again. It's very unoriginal. They do this every year. Giants and Cowboys have kicked off the season facing each other in 7 of the last 13 years. Cowboys laying 2.5 here on the road, as I guessed perfectly when you asked me on the previous episode. -145 on the money line. Giants +125. 47 is the total. This is going to be the new look Mike McCarthy run the damn ball offense.
How's your run defense, Ryan?
Well, funny you ask. Wink Martindale has gone out of his way. Wink Martindale is a guy where if you want to find out how he's feeling about his defense, you can read. You can read his interviews. He's pretty transparent. Last year, there was a lot of talk about having to put guys in spots. He's really doing a great job in a different spot. That's not good speak. But when you hear things like, if there's one thing we're going to be this year is much better against the run, I believe him. Okay. They signed a bunch of dudes that pretty much just play the run. I think they upgraded every aspect of what you would have against the run, and they still have Dexter Williams, Leonard Williams.
The Williams twins.
I would say this. This is more of a fade of the new Cowboys offense.
It is funny that they decide to become a run heavy team after losing Zeke, their running back they drafted 4th overall, and Tony Pollard with a gruesome leg injury to end the season.
Well, and again, sorry, Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, I think
like this new run heavy approach with the Dallas Cowboys.
Deuce Vaughn. I think that's he's going.
He's going to be a bell cow back.
It's like a mini me. I also, like I said, I think the Giants are
Tony Pollard questionable, Malik Davis, Ronald Jones, Deuce Vaughn.
Serial talking a lot of shit in the chat.
You need and their offensive line has kind of fallen off as well. Like, I don't think this is the move you like lean into more pass. Like you don't lean into a run heavy approach if you're. I don't know. Their offensive line has struggled to stay healthy. It's not as dominant as it was previously.
I also think there's going to be a crowd. This is a like decidedly different vibe in the Giants fan situation. Like even last year, to think of the cautious optimism, but nothing had happened yet.
I hate when this game starts off the season because inevitably it's a
Cowboys win some bullshit. That's usually how it goes. I mean, if we're being honest, the Cowboys have generally done well in this matchup, but I think and specifically, they were a bad matchup for the Giants last year. Different year, new team, Brian Dable, year 2. Let's fucking go.
I'll begrudgingly take the Giants because
loving them a teaser. Tease them up to 8.5. That's you know what? Don't love either side in this one, Sean, but I love putting the New York Football Giants in a teaser, getting them up to 8.5, crossing the key numbers of 3, 4, and 7. Just warming up. Buffalo heads to New York to take on the Jets. It's a back-to-back New York. Like they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Prime time spot here. Monday Night Football. Bills
9/11 special.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, how
have we gotten an explanation of why they do 2 Monday night games for the second week and not the first week?
I've not heard an explanation. They changed it last season, I believe.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of genius.
How so?
Well, you got people. Week 1's already a big deal.
Yeah.
So why blow it week 1? That's probably what ESPN was thinking.
Yeah, it's just interesting. No explanation why. Okay, fine. 2
more
games
on Sunday when we're in Vegas.
Again, you put it on Wednesday afternoon. I'll fucking watch this shit. I don't care. This is my job to watch these games and gamble on them. I will do my job, Ryan. I am a workaholic. We got no explanation.
I mean, ESPN making a lot of interesting choices this year on their game selection too. Bills laying a 1.5 -120 here. Aaron Rodgers even money and wait, what am I supposed to say? Even money or +100? I forget. 48 is the total. Bills laying only a point. Like shit. It's early, so I don't want to pull a muscle.
Buffalo Bills. There's so much that can go wrong for this Jets team.
Is there?
Yeah.
More so than the Rams, you think?
What?
Like well, that's exactly what I said about the Rams and why I like grabbing the favorite.
No, well, the Jets have a much better roster.
No, I know, but you're saying that a lot could cause this line to grow.
Oh no, I didn't say that. I said a lot could go wrong for this Jets team.
To grow for Buffalo, like to allow the spread to grow.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that. I was talking about like in the game, a lot of things could go wrong for this Jets team.
Got it.
I wasn't talking about
like time between now and then.
I think it'll probably close. Yeah,
3, right?
For who? Buffalo?
Yeah.
No.
2.5.
I would be surprised if it gets up to 3.
Nathaniel Hackett's involved in the offense.
Yeah, people have talked themselves. Look at the Super Bowl odds. People have talked themselves into the Jets. There are 1 million Jets fans that can legally bet in New Jersey and New York, and for the first time in their lives have some glimmer of hope. Ryan, the public handle on the Jets is going to be insane.
Judging this only based on Colby as a Jets fan, it doesn't seem like he's very excited.
No, Colby's not a Jets fan. He hates football. But there are going to be a million Jets fans putting massive amounts of money on this Jets team. It's a 9/11 remembering game. It is a Aaron Rodgers debut in the Big Apple. I just think
you're going to get so much bullshit about how the Bills are the Bills are the team that's actually from New York.
I just think there's going to be a ton of opportunities for this Jets team to come to look at a sync, to not be on the same page. We've seen Aaron Rodgers. Remember Romeo Doubs was wide open on that deep ball, and Rodgers chucked it up, and it hit him in the hands, and he didn't catch it. And right when that happened, you knew the Packers are not winning game one. It was an omen to a bad season for the Packers. They ended up losing to the Vikings, ended up going 7-10 for the regular season. Or something like that, 8-9, whatever it was. Bad season for the Packers. I could just see something like that, similar, like the shot of Aaron Rodgers strapping off the chin strap very angrily. He has a short tolerance. Remember how angry he was at the Packers receivers?
Week 1 last year. You remember that at Minnesota?
Yeah.
7. They lost 23-7.
Yeah.
All right. Year before. Remember this one? It was weird. They had to play in Jacksonville.
He started off bad.
38-8 against New Orleans. They got their ass beat.
He's bad opening day.
That new team too, jitters. So
yeah.
I like the angle. I understand you're on, like, it's a strange side because in my head I'm like, well, I mean, obviously everyone's going to bet Buffalo. But you're right. There are a lot of
the public will be all over the Jets, dude. Look at the Super Bowl odds, and they just
but Super Bowl odds are different. I think in the perspective, like, I think this number could absolutely get to, like, I'd say it's going to get to 3 before the Jets are favored. Like Bills -3 is more likely than Jets.
I think
favored.
I think the people saw the way the Bills went out and in the playoffs and were like, oh, that sucks. And then they're just thinking, hey, Rodgers of the Jets, they're going to be awesome.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I certainly am not going to be betting on the Jets early. Maybe they can get it figured out. And it's not going to happen early.
The Packers have started slow a number of times. So even in good seasons, they've started bad.
Well, Randall Cobb will be there though to help with the off-season team building stuff that Aaron likes to run. Get everyone on the same page. Did you see him slow motion throwing routes to his receivers? He did look pretty good. He did look pretty. Have you not been? I mean, Sean, we live in a time where we can watch slow motion football highlights 12 months a year. It's fabulous.
It's a great day to be alive.
It's fabulous. I do think Aaron there could be something going on with Aaron Rodgers and a couple of these. I'm getting like 5% nervous.
What do you mean?
They might be good.
Oh,
I'm watching these. You know, I get sucked into the workout videos, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh shit.
Bills are just they feel like a classic, just regular season team.
Well, I do kind of want to fade them next year too. So,
I mean, they started out last year. They went into LA. They whooped up on the Rams 31-10. They did have that game where they lost to the Steelers opening day, 23-16 at home. Then the 2020 season, they took down the Jets 27-17.
I did get a text from Dick Olson just a couple days ago where he was drafting Garrett Wilson 5th overall in fantasy. So could be this year's Devontae Adams.
I'm telling you, he's gonna get so much fucking hype.
That's it. That's all the games, Sean.
That's it. All right. Time for the lock, dog, and tease and bonus lock brought to you by Shady Rays. ShadyRays.com, promo code SGPN, 50% off 2+ pairs of shades. I think we're good warm up, Ryan, for doing this actual episode in 5 months.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Worth noting, we failed to mention that Josh Allen did lose to Zach Wilson in New York last time he traveled there. So,
well, that's because Zach Wilson.
Again, shout out to Zach Wilson. I heard he's trying to hang out with Aaron. Make amends, make everything good. Be a good teammate. All right. Do you want to lock something up? We doing everything?
Yes.
All right.
You're up, Ryan. Welcome to the show.
Tease. I'll start there. I'm not doing the lock first. Give me Packers up to 8.5. Dolphins 8.5.
Hold on. Green Bay 8.5.
Actually, no. Dolphins 8.5.
Okay.
Chiefs -1. Vikings -1.
Okay.
Dog. I think it has to be the Steelers. Just autoplay. And for my lock, yeah, I think we're just gonna slot it in. Give me Atlanta 2 years in a row. Fade Bryce Young and his tiny fucking body. Game 1.
He is tiny. Okay, what's your other lock?
You're really putting us out there. It is May 14th. Obviously, limits are pretty low right now, but I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could be a really bad team. So I'll lay Minnesota.
The Minnesota Vikings. What could go wrong? All right, my first lock of the season. All right, some interesting plays here. I'm gonna
Welcome
go
to the show, Sean.
I'm gonna go Buffalo -1.5.
Oh,
well, the Bills match up pretty good against the Jets. I think this is a good spot for them.
Zach Wilson beat them last year.
It's true. For my other lock, it's hard not to go KC -7. It's really hard.
It's Thursday night too. You're going to be getting down heavy.
Heavy wager. I'll go Pittsburgh +3. When in doubt, take Mike Tomlin for my tease. What am I gonna do here? I'll take. I shouldn't do that. Miami up to 8.5. That's easy.
I intentionally avoided Deshaun Watson in a tease. I didn't want to put him in a situation he might not be able to control himself.
He doesn't like to be teased. Titans up to 9.5.
Oh wow! Look at that. Some are saying that 4 and 5.
Baltimore down to -3.5. For my dog, I do like the Rams on the money line. I do like the Titans on the money line. I do like the Steelers on the money line. I could see some round robin money line parlays in my future. Give me the Los Angeles Rams on the money line, taking down the Seattle Seahawks. Love a division dog to start the season off.
That's interesting.
Thank you, Ryan.
Interesting.
Good warm up here for the NFL Pick Show. We'll be back tomorrow night live on YouTube, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast, 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 East. Make sure you that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up in the YouTube as well. Always rating reviews. Always appreciate those. And actually, speaking of that, I got a little $25 gift card to give away.
Really?
Yes, let me pull up the review.
I'm all ears.
Okay.
While you do that, I'm gonna dig into some Zach Wilson news.
Buff Jerry, shout out to Buff Jerry from Ireland. Top of the morning to you, Buff Jerry. Excellent podcast. Listen to every podcast from the boys. Gets me psyched and in the zone to make some paper on the NFL. Jeremiah from Ireland. So hats off to you. We'll hook you up with the gift card, maybe some Shady Rays if we can get them out there to you. Drop us an email, and as always, thumbs up in the YouTube chat, subscribe, ratings, reviews. Always appreciate you guys spreading the word and taking down corporate gambling.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
This is wild, Sean. They actually plan to have Aaron Rodgers mentor Zach Wilson.
Kramer, let it ride.